Every white belt steps onto the mat with a dream that one day they will be good enough to wear the most desired black belt.
I would say that a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, probably one of the hardest things to get. If I knew how hard this was going to be when I started, I probably wouldn't have.
But what if I told you that there's a belt that even black belts can only dream of?
We have Helson Gracie, red belt, tying his belt.
A belt that's so exclusive that 99% of both BJJ hobbyists and athletes will never come close to wearing it. That belt is the red Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt. While the black belt is for the best of the best, the red belt is a league of its own. It's not just a symbol of skill, it's a belt reserved for those who have dedicated their entire lives to BJJ. But just as not all black belts are on the same level, not all red belts are either. And to top it all, there's one red belt that no one can ever wear again. To understand how prestigious the red belt is, you'll need to know how crazily long and tasking the black belt is. To get to black belt, you must have spent a minimum of 10 years training jiu-jitsu. Then, it takes 3 years for every degree until you hit your third one.
The first 3 degrees are 3 years each. So with 9 years, I get 3 degrees. The next 3 degrees, the 4th, 5th, and 6th degrees are 5 years each. 15 more years is 24 years of achievement. And then you 6-degree black belt.
Then, as the ranks of black belts grew, Helio Gracie devised a unique system to distinguish those who had dedicated their lives to the art. The first red belt came in 2 forms. The red and black coral belt, representing the 7th degree black belt.
The 7, the 8, and the 9-degree black belts are 7 years each. And that's gonna be another 21 years.
And the even rarer red and white coral belt, signifying the 8th degree. Now, you might be wondering, why the term coral belt? Well, think of a coral reef, a resilient structure built over time, layer by layer, enduring the harsh elements of the ocean. Much like a coral reef, this belt signifies strength and longevity in the art. To achieve the coral belts, one must climb through all the ranks of the black belt, accumulating knowledge, wisdom, and experience. It's not just about technique. The coral belts are reserved for teachers of the sport who have a deep understanding of the art, its philosophy, and the ability to pass this knowledge on to the next generation of practitioners.
It's cool to know what I think is cool about the certificate, the coral belt, is the recognition. Coral belt, you need to have 31 years on the black belt.
The 7th and 8th ranked red belts are only the warm-up belts to the highest belt of honor in BJJ, which only a select few have achieved in their lifetime.
So with the 24 plus 21 is 45 years of teachings for me to achieve the 90 degree, because today I feel like I'm 8 degree.
According to the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, the red belt represents the highest peak of achievement in BJJ. Its scarcity is all thanks to the fact that it takes up to 50 years of relentless training coupled with recognition to be able to achieve this. Among the sea of black belts, there are only around 50 red belts. The youngest among them is Carlos Antonio Rosado, and he earned this prestigious rank from none other than the late Helson Gracie, who was one of the 7 to ever have a special kind of belt that we'll talk about.
Evento nobre, merecido e que só temos a aplaudir mais esse movimento muito justo ao nosso mestre Castro Gracie, que fez com que o jiu-jitsu alavancasse para o mundo.
So who are these legendary jiu-jitsu red belts that have spent 50 years of their lives in BJJ? These legends are the grandmasters of the art of BJJ. These are individuals who have soaked so deeply into the game's mechanics that they practically eat and breathe jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, like any other art form, has various styles and techniques. Yet, these red masters often rely on a select few techniques honed to perfection over a lifetime. The key difference between a highly skilled jiu-jitsu fighter and a red belt lies in the refinement and perfection of these techniques. Their knowledge covers almost any scenario and shows little variation in the foundational techniques of Jiu-Jitsu. When you watch a Jiu-Jitsu red belt in action, you'll see more than just technique. You'll see an art form that is more than just physical strength and agility. It's about knowledge, technique, and mental discipline. For a red belt rolling with opponents who are often half a century younger, their youthful strength is no more, but the strategic brilliance, precision, and artistry of their moves are ever present. While there may be hundreds, if not thousands, of submission moves at their disposal, the most effective ones remain the most basic. It's in the intricate details and the precision of execution that these red belts truly shine, and it's a level of mastery that takes decades to attain. But things are no longer the same. There have been some controversies surrounding the red belt. In the early days, when Helio Gracie was the torchbearer of the art, there was a clear hierarchical structure governing the red belt. The process was well defined, and the awarding of this esteemed rank followed a certain path. However, with Helio's passing, the landscape shifted. The clarity of hierarchy seemed to fade away, and this was notably evident when Rickson Gracie received his red belt from his older brother, Rorion.
Should not wait any longer to get his red belt.
This objective nature of the award raised eyebrows and sparked debates within the jiu-jitsu community. Rickson recognized the importance of legitimacy and the need for a more organized system, chose to stop wearing the red belt. He voiced what many had been thinking.
Yeah, Rorion is not the case. Rorion has one opinion, but he's not representing a council. So in order for me to accept Rorion's gift, I will be diminishing my position as a president of the federation.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu needed a governing body, a collective of members who could conjointly decide who and when to promote to the esteemed red belt.
I cannot start that by just promoting or accepting a promotion which is controversial. If was not only Rorion's opinion, was a council with the top undeniable guys in Jiu-Jitsu from all the segments, but it's the council who decides, and the council is above the right and wrong.
This, he believed, would bring clarity and fairness to the process, so everyone could dream of getting all the belts one day. All except one. Even though it will be easier for an eagle to fly all over the world at a go than getting the 9th degree belt, this 10th degree red belt is off limits. It is only reserved for the founding fathers of BJJ. There are only 5 grandmasters who have held this belt within their lifetime. Carlos Gracie Sr., Helio Gracie, Gaston Gracie, Osvaldo Gracie, and Giorgi Gracie all came from the founding house. Though not part of the Gracie family, Luis Franca and Osvaldo Fada grew the sport in their own way, but it was after their deaths that their efforts were recognized, and they were awarded the 10th degree belt. Anyone setting their goal to achieve the 10th degree belt will have to travel back in time and become a founding grandmaster. Even after Flavio Berri got the 9th rank belt and his 70 years of knowledge and experience needed more reward, unfortunately, the 10th rank belt wasn't up for grabs. And so, Flavio was rewarded with a unique belt, the white belt with a red bar, symbolizing his role as a student and teacher of the game, constantly learning and sharing. Going forward, will this be a new thing? Or is the BJJ belt color ranking more than enough? Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comment section below. We'd like to hear your thoughts.